Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gerald, and I'm a software engineer at the .NET MAUI team, on the .NET MAUI team here at Microsoft. And I'm going to talk to you for the next 15 minutes all about the design time tooling that we have to kind of like make you more productive with updating your .NET MAUI UI. So we got a couple of tools already available for you today. This is available in like Visual Studio 17.14 that just came out, and definitely some versions before that as well, but make sure that you're always on the last one, right? So we got live preview where you can see the changes of your app without leaving Visual Studio, right? So you'll get a little window on the side and you can see what the changes are that you're actually making in your XAML right then and there. You don't have to switch around, like if you're on a single monitor machine like I am right here, you don't have to switch around between like the emulator or another window. You can just see that all from Visual Studio and do all kinds of cool stuff with that. Hard reload, right? You can make changes to your XAML in your UI with just, you don't even have to start a debug session anymore. It says it there right at the bottom. You can just start editing and it will show up in your running app right there, again, from Visual Studio. Then you also have the visual tree, the live visual tree, where you can go kind of like through the structure of your app, see all the things that are happening there, click on it, and the live property editor where you can inspect all the current values of the properties of all those controls that you're actually seeing. Well, it is actually, a demo session, right? So let me just dive straight into a demo and show you all of this. So here I've got Visual Studio. This is just a file new MAUI app. Who here already has experience with MAUI? Already building apps, okay? And I think not all of this, but definitely some part of this tooling is also working for other XAML-based languages in .NET. But of course, you should just be using .NET MAUI, right? So this is just a file new MAUI app. Works with more complex apps as well. Works with your app too, but this is just for demonstration purposes. And if you've already, there's a good number of you that already build a MAUI app. What you would typically do is, hey, click here, start this debug session, and start working from there, right? Super cool, hot reload, all that kind of stuff works from there too. But to make your inner dev loop even faster, we now have this little button right here. Let me see if I can zoom it in because it might be a little bit small there on your screen, and get this out of the way. Here we go. We have this little live preview button right here. There, see? And if you click that, it's not going to actually start a whole live debugging session, but it's actually just going to deploy the app still to your device, right? It's still the actual running app, but now you can see it here. In this XAML live preview window right here, you can see the app show up, right? Super fast, super simple, it's right there. And you already saw me hovering over it, not the hovercraft, hovering with my mouse over it. And you can see it highlights all the controls on here, right? So you can see, hey, this is an image, right? It shows you like the most relevant properties right here. So it shows you image, it's on the main page XAML, and the render size is this and this size, right? Shows you all these convenient properties right here. For a label, it's even a little bit more. This is the font, this is the background color, this is the text color, right? So you can do all these things from right here. So this is the live preview. Then you can do, if you have like a super pixel perfect design that you want to match right here, and you're like, you can kind of like take a piece of paper maybe and see if that gets it right. But we have added these vertical and horizontal rulers for you. So you can just take that, you can drag them. Oops, that was removing. You can drag them, you can remove them, so that you can really see like, okay, this is really there down to the pixel. You can get that in the right spot as the designers have intended it to, right? So you can do all of that. So you can remove all of them, you can give them a little color. But from here, you can even take it a step further, right? I also talked about the live visual tree. So I've already got it open here. If any of these windows do not show up, just go to View, and then I think they're all under Other Windows, and they should be here somewhere on this list. I'm not gonna try and figure that out right now because I can't find it, but it should be somewhere there, and it should pop up automatically whenever that kind of like makes sense to you, right? So this is there, and I think actually there is a little context menu for you right here that also has these things, right? So this is, I think, the live visual tree, and then the other one is the live property explorer, right? So there you have it. So let's look at this one. Live visual tree, we got that here over on the left side for me. And you see the exact same structure as we see here in the UI. You can see whenever I hover over it, it actually highlights that thing also in my XAML live preview. So we have all the things right here. We have that image, we have that label, we have the counter button, And you can see all of those things right here, right? Image, label, button, right? And it's going to be the visual elements, right? I mean, you can see the live visual tree right here, but if it's not visual on screen, well, it actually now shows the whole scroll view. So it should show everything here. And then whenever you click on the little angled brackets icon here, it'll navigate automatically to the correct place in the XAML for you as well. So super cool. And it does the opposite as well. If I click here, it will also take you to the XAML, right? So it does that just as well. Now, the other thing, before I show you the real magic, is going to the live property inspector, right? So that's right here, pops up here on the right. You can lay that out. You know Visual Studio, you know how it works. And you can see all the current properties of the running app. Again, right? So if I go to this button right here, so you can see it here, but you can also see that it updates all the property values here, right? So you can see all the properties that are set in the XAML. You can see like, hey, what is computed from here? And we have all this stuff right here. But the really cool thing is that you can edit it too. So now it says, I don't know, let's go to this one, hello world. And let's make this hello build, right? There we go. I have to press return and it updates, right? So you don't, this is not a debug session. This is not nothing. You can see it like, hey, boom, live preview, start editing, and it will update your UI. You don't have to do it from this live property window either. You can just do it from here, right? So you see this doesn't update, so it's kind of like, you know, it might get you in a weird state, but you probably want to pick one method to do this. But if we do this here, hello build 2025, and I don't think you have to do anything here. You don't even have to save it, and it updates automatically. Same thing for like all the other properties, right? If I want to make this a red background, because that always looks good, right? You can do that just as well. Cool. So we have all this tooling. Now, wouldn't it be cool if we, you know, could let some Copilot maybe do this? Of course, there was going to be some AI, right? Everyone was expecting that. So with GitHub Copilot, you probably could not have missed it. You can do a lot of things, right? So you can do all these cool things. You can explain a piece of code. You can do code reviews. You can do all kinds of stuff in GitHub. But you can even let it write documentation, right? So Copilot can write the documentation that others are never going to read. So that's good news. You don't have to spend any of your time there. But what you can also do is let it leverage this tooling. So I have another demo lined up, and that basically uses two things. It uses agent mode. Agent mode is available in Visual Studio 17.14. It's also available in Visual Studio Code. It has been available there for a little bit longer. And with that, it will not only kind of like suggest to you, hey, this thing is something that you might try, and then you have to press a button to actually put the code in your code editor. With agent mode, you can just say, hey, I want to have this thing. It will make all the edits for you, and you just have to press kind of like accept or not. It will even trigger another build for you if that's what you want. It can do all these things. It is almost autonomous, right? It's almost self-aware. We were kind of like scared of that, but it can do all these things, trigger all these commands, inspect the output of that, and it's super, super powerful. So that's what we're going to use. And then the other thing is Copilot Vision. I don't know how about you, but I am a very minimalistic designer, which basically means that if the design does not look good out of the box, I can work with it, right? I will even mess it up and make it look horrible. And many developers make functional designs like that, right? So now we have this Copilot, which is a great designer, right? So with Copilot Vision, you can make that even easier. Maybe some designer made this great sketch, made this great thing, and you can feed this the image. It will look at the image, and it will actually come back with like, okay, this is the XAML that you need to use. It will put it right in there to make this crazy design. So let's have a quick look at what that looks like. I actually have a pre-recorded video to guide you through that thing, but just to show you a little bit where that is hidden, let me close this one. And you have here Copilot, GitHub Copilot, right? In the top right, there's multiple ways to get to this, but this is the easiest one. And you do Copilot Chat. And then you can see down here, we got this little new option. Who has been using GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio yet? Not that many? Oh, you should. Not just because I'm at Microsoft and I have to say this, but it's actually really good. And you can switch it to agent mode, right? So you have ask, you control what your code's applied, blah, blah, blah. And agent code applies code, builds, fixes bugs, and more, right? It does all that stuff for you automatically. You can choose a model, which one suits you best. And then you have also MCP, right? So that's talking to all kinds of other APIs and stuff. So you can take this even a step further. I might show this tomorrow in our breakout session and feed it a Figma design file from a designer, right? Figma is a design tool, super cool. You can feed that through here that has an MCP server. It pulls the design from there, translate that into XAML, and boom, you have an amazing looking .NET MAUI app. This is what I've been waiting for all my life. I can finally build great looking apps. So let's quickly switch over to this little video that I got right here, where I go through all the steps because, you know, it's AI, it's a little bit unpredictable what comes out. Also, it thinks really long sometimes. So I just recorded this little video. Let's see if I can make that work right here. Oh, there we go. And what this does, I have an app that we're going to show again tomorrow in the breakout session. So if you're interested in what the end result kind of like looks like, definitely make sure to come there. And we're going to use the image that we're providing, which is, you know, you can zoom it. It's a little bit small, maybe. It's just 2 text boxes with welcome back. And that's going to be our login screen, right? And we're asking Copilot for, hey, this is our image. Please recreate this in XAML for our .NET MAUI app. So we're going to use that for the image source, right? There's a little image, which is probably a typical thing that you usually have, an image for your company logo or whatever. I want to have that on that. Please reference a logo.png that's already in my project. Now you can see it comes up with something, it's thinking, it's inspecting a couple of files right here, and then it starts editing my files to actually implement this. It comes up with the XAML, and you can see that automatically pop up then in XAML Live Preview, right? It makes the changes. Also, Live Preview works for Copilot, all the edits that are coming in, and you can see that we have kind of like a crude login screen popping up for our .NET MAUI app. Now, it's still figuring out a couple of things. It actually builds, tries to build. There's a couple of errors there. It figures that out automatically. I don't need to do anything here in between. And then I want to use the input controls from the Syncfusion toolkit. There's a bunch of free controls that they provide. So please use those to make it even look better, make it a little bit fancier, add some extra functionality. You can do all of that. You can just request, hey, please do that for me, right? You don't have to go out, get the API reference for that. What do I need to replace exactly? It will just suggest to you, hey, these are the edits that you need to make to use the Syncfusion controls right here. And again, you can see all the things that we've seen before. Hover over it, inspect all the properties. Use a bunch of more Syncfusion controls right here, and it's going to repeat the whole process, right? So this is super, super cool, super powerful. Again, reads a couple of things. But not just that, right? This is just the design part, and it will do that. But what comes next is like, hey, we can also ask it to implement actual functionalities, right? We have this login screen right now. It looks great, depending on what your taste is, right? But now we can also ask it to like, hey, whenever people actually do log in, I want to navigate to the next page, right? So this is there, this works, and now we can navigate to the next page. It's implemented that for us just as well. Super crazy cool stuff that you can do with Copilot right here. Oops, I got it again. So we got a couple of related sessions, a couple have already done. There is a lab still going on to build your first Blazor hybrid application. If you're going to run over, maybe you can catch the last 10 minutes. That's probably not super useful. Those labs are not recorded, but the code is on GitHub. So please check that out if that's something that you're interested in. The Update Your MAUI app is going to be right here, but it's recorded as well. And tomorrow there's a big breakout session with a couple of people where we're going to talk about a big AI-infused .NET MAUI app where we have like OpenAI in there. We're going to feed it with images. We're going to feed it with voice data, and it will be amazing, amazing. And we will use Copilot to build that whole thing as well. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this back, and please go out and use Copilot, .NET MAUI, and all the good stuff to build your cross-platform apps. Thank you.